I'm just hanging out. I'm just hanging out. I'm mainly known for the rough raps, but kids steal my lyrics like hubcaps and eat them like stacks of flapjacks like rugrats. Hey, and I get busy over unknown traps while the next man flaps his lids like parquet. I'm skilled in the field, so slide to the side. I'll make a rapper cry, cause I can get some shut-eye while he's having hard times writing rhymes.
Oh, man. Lazy Samurai today, man. Sweatpants still on. I got pants underneath and I got shorts. I got the good shoes on. I got the wife beater on and I'm bald as fuck. Welcome back to Just Hanging Out. My co-host with the mo-host.
Zakariah Hezekiah coming at you, baby. How y'all doing? Missed you. It's been quite a while. Let's be honest. As
all I was going to say with that. Matter of fact, you got to say something with it. On this track, I'm high, man.
Oh. Well, I can tell where this is going.
It's going to be a good one today, man. Honestly, there was no prep for it. We said, why not put one out? So we're going to do it, but we're going to talk, dude. Let's talk the talk.
Well, you know, I think...
Give me what you're thinking.
I've been reading, watching a lot of some of these political debates, and I'm pretty sure the conservatives are kind of eating themselves right now because all these people voted for Trump, and now people are disapproving of him. All this stuff that's going on. I mean, there's some things like there's no overtime tax anymore, which is cool.
Did they pass that though?
I heard that they passed it. It's passed.
Sure
Yeah.
passed
I heard it. I might be wrong. Don't quote me.
Some overtime, man.
And then there's maybe, dude, for real.
I just will hate.
Then like no tax on cash tips, which is dope too, or on any kind of tips. I think I don't remember how it works, but whatever. But there's just like the whole thing with like let's say the thing with Elon. With him bringing in all those people, those Indians from that recent proposal, bringing these people in, paying them to do jobs and stuff. I think it's like almost 1 million people are supposed to come here.
Indians?
Yes.
What?
You didn't hear what that's why everybody started getting mad with Elon because I forgot the name of the bill.
God.
Yeah, that's like one of the first three things that people got pissed off about with him was bringing in all these people, and then like the problem is that these in India, unfortunately, it's still under a caste system. So the people that are coming over here, they're not your top scientists, doctors. They're the shit people.
Pretty good salespeople, dude.
The shit people that they don't want there. It's just like what Fidel Castro did with people and political prisoners and all the other prisoners of their country in the 80s, like the beginning of Scarface. That's really what happened. He was like, fuck all these people.
Sanitation.
Yeah, he said, fuck all these people.
Sanitation.
Well, he said, fuck all these people, get them the fuck out of our country. We don't need them. So he sent them all off to America, and that's what's happening here. And I'm not saying that Indians are pieces of shit. Everybody's a piece of shit. I'm just saying they're not giving us... Why would any country give away their most quality people? Like, it's like anything. If I had a job, why would I get rid of my 5 best guys and keep 20 of the worst? You know what I mean?
Might make sense in the long run since India is overpopulated. So, you know.
Oh, so we overpopulate us?
Yeah, I think it might work.
Shitting in the streets and shit? You
so
ever see one of those food trucks, dude?
Dude.
I would never eat anything
man,
that's not in a restaurant. I would not eat
I see those people go out there and eat that. And I said, no. Look at all that hand touching them flies.
Yeah, I've watched one where they passed around the same fish like 17 times.
I can't, dude. He's doing it with his feet. Yeah. I say, no.
Yeah, no,
I'm not eating it.
Yeah, well, like, and it is incredibly cheap to live out there.
The worst thing, hold on. The worst thing is they make you overpay, dude. They try to fuck.
Oh, they try to fuck you. You gotta fuck with them.
They're just going overboard, dude. 22,000, which is like I don't know, like a
couple bucks.
It's a couple bucks, but still, it's way too much with the fucking
what they're doing.
Sausages, dude. Fucking those feet stomp sausages.
I've looked into like a lot of people that work from home have moved to countries like Bali, Thailand, Indonesia, all those places because you could. Let's just say you're making what we're making right now. I'm saying I'm probably making a little bit more than $5,000 a month, maybe a little bit more than that.
I'd
say so. I'm probably making
41, 42
a month.
I think so.
I'm probably a little higher than that.
Do you pay taxes?
Yeah, of course. My paychecks are like two of my paychecks are like almost $1,300, and the other two are just under 900. They're like 8 something. So I'm making like a little bit over. Like I'm not taking home $5,000, but I'm making at least $5,000 before taxes and everything.
Oh, before taxes.
That's what I mean.
That was
yeah.
a big
Sorry,
thing.
sorry. I should have said that.
Because this, I was like,
Like,
how's he doing this, man? I was like, what's happening, dude?
I'm not paying taxes.
I was like, we're just fine. It'll be cool.
I looked up if I was making that kind of money living in a place like that, dude. If you were making five, not take home, but $5,000 a month, and let's say taxes, let's say you're taking home $3,500, maybe a little bit more. You would be able to live. Your family wouldn't have to work. Your kids would go to a charter school if you wanted them to. You'd be able to go to dinners and every night if you wanted to, and it wouldn't matter. Like this one guy I watched, he makes like $7,000 a month doing something for a company. I don't know what he does, but he's an at-home guy. And he moved to Thailand with his family. He gets a month off a year. He takes a month off. They go to different countries. They save up all their money and they go out there. And because everything's so cheap,
you gotta have money to be out there and.
Well, yeah, dude. He makes $7,000. He spends literally $1,500 a month on bills, and that's it. Everything else is there. The only thing
Thailand would be dope, man. It's just once
a
something
move.
bad happens, dude, something bad happens.
Honestly, I've watched.
Might be a bit safe out there, man. I didn't hear anything actually. I'm just guessing, man.
We got to be careful with you. No, I would love to live out there just because of the. First of all, the only thing that freaked me out is the lady boys. Because some of these lady boys,
You don't
man.
like lady boys. You don't think you would touch it?
No.
What would happen if you did touch it? Is it everyone says, and I'd punch him right in the face?
No. If
I'd grab it harder, look at him right in the
dumb,
eyes, and I'm going to say, not tonight, man.
I mean, if I didn't.
Go, but you got to at least get the
lady boy, pum.
Get a handful of it at least.
No,
you know? If you go down there and just touch the tips of it with your fingertips, you're going to go, let me just fucking tighten.
I mean, you could tighten it if you want to.
Squeeze, dude, as hard as you can.
My thing is that if I'm dumb enough to fall for someone that pretending to be a woman, it's not their fault. Though they should have to tell me. I think that it should be just a common courtesy. I'm not going to fight them. I'm just going to respectfully be like, listen, like you said, not tonight, bud. You know,
it's a fun surprise.
Awful surprise. Yeah. You could say that's
as long as it's smooth. If it's hairy, we got a problem.
You know it's going to be they're modern female looking chicks. So the things. So it's like they'll be shaven. Don't worry.
Probably.
But
if they got big enough tits, you think you would do it, dude?
No.
Why not?
Because I don't want to touch a dick, and I don't want a dick to touch me.
It's just laughing around.
Yeah, dude.
No, man.
Yeah, the thing is, when you fucking do, and the dude gets fucked in the ass, his dick is flopping around.
You know this. I don't even know that, dude.
I mean, I don't even know. I'm just thinking, like, okay, I don't need to see it to know that it's probably what's happening. The dick doesn't just go away, like, you know.
I thought it retracts back into the body, dude.
That's how they have orgasms. In fact, the thing is, what's really fucking weird is that when guys that get fucked in the ass, they feel it in their prostate, so that's why it's pleasurable to them.
Thank you.
So they bust a nut just like the dude busted that's fucking them. So there's a chance where you can get busted in and then bust out when you're done.
Boom, dude.
Yeah,
bust.
That's gross.
Call that the double bust, dude.
That's absolutely horrendous. I could never imagine.
What if you're forced to do it? Could you?
No. I don't know. These are questions. Like, what if you're forced to do it? I mean, what does that even mean? Like, you'd have to not. Like, the only way I would say it was like it's an excusable offense is if I got like knocked out like Vineyard in American History X. And then they did it.
Poor Vineyard, man.
Yeah, because he was trying. The thing is fucked up is that's what killed his belief in that life because he saw those guys all deal. Well, no, it wasn't just the rape. He saw those guys dealing drugs with the Mexicans and doing all these things that they were against. That's what. And then those guys
got a principle. Dude.
Yeah,
we had to follow. He had to follow the law.
But
we don't fuck around with the other colors.
I love the guys hair, the brush back hair guys like. Listen, man, you need to stop telling us what to do. we're gonna, but it's just like so retarded that if you hail one, I get the point of like you're hailing one thing but then doing another. That's retarded. I don't like. It's not necessarily like I'm for what they're saying or against what they're saying. I'm saying at least be true to yourself. It's like when that church in our hometown, the one by Taco Bell, they had those rainbow doors over there. You probably didn't see them, and it said all doors are open to Christ. Fair enough, man. But at the end of the day, when you start okaying, like, you know, homosexuality, all these things, it isn't about it's you're just changing what is in your religion. In your most holy text, it says not to do those things. It's there, so it's like either be there or don't be there. And I get that aspect of either you be all about it or you're not about it. So I get the aspect, but that life helped him realize that it was retarded what he was doing.
You gotta stick to your guns, man.
I believe so. Yeah.
Fucking stick to them, dude. The
Whether
second
they're
you start
ridiculous or
changing
not.
around guns and shit, dude, accepting gay people, you fucked up.
Well, it's
You're not that fucked up.
I would rather be someone be all the way than a fence sitter. Like that's when it's like 50-50. Like sometimes like
Maybe
Joe
people
Rogan,
just think it's better to try and, in a sense, modernize, dude. You know?
modernize.
Yeah, dude. In a sense, they think because the new thing is the gay thing, you know, or the tranny thing, you know, or who are you? But you're welcome because God loves you, you know.
I get that. And God, if you believe in that kind of stuff, like yes, God loves you. Doesn't matter. It's not love. God loves sinners. God loves
people
everyone.
have been changing the religion around. Forever.
Well, yeah.
It keeps getting changed no matter what, and obviously that's just the old ways, you know. No gay people allowed here. God will smite thee. Now they're like, hey, gays, you want to come on in? Come on in. God loves you, man.
Well, I don't think again. There is always misappropriation of. I hope that's a word.
If it sounds right to you, it's a word, man.
All right, cool. I'm just gonna start making up words throughout the day.
That's what I do, man.
No, but nothing is foul. Nothing is like against that. There are always going to be people that are going to take one thing, say it's another, or look into it too deeply, or just take something and entirely have a whole different definition of it. And that's just how the world works. So I can't say that that's not possible, but. You know, anybody that truly made an impact in any kind of religion understands that God loves everyone. Maybe he hates everyone too. I don't know. But
you got to think about God, though, because God is good. They say he's good and all that, you know, good and all that. But he's got to be evil as well, right?
I don't know. I don't know if he has to be anything.
He doesn't have to be anything.
I mean, that's the thing.
But why would he create evil, you know?
Well, because you
devil,
can't.
You know, he knew everything that was going to happen. And so he did it. So he created a very evil person. So called Satan. You know,
there's a lot of
evil,
aspects.
I guess, you know?
My favorite one is that if you never knew evil, you would never appreciate good.
Yeah, that's cool.
I mean, and I'll be honest with you, in this world,
just saying the creator that created the evil and the good and whatnot would have to be evil as well.
Oh yeah, I would say
But
so.
Again, yeah, it's God.
But
so it doesn't have to be anything.
I believe that the God
It could be a thing, and it just was like, let me create some shit.
I believe the Old Testament God, which is mostly to do with the Jew, the Jewish Bible. The Old Testament God was Baal. I don't think I think the Old Testament God was a demon. I don't think he was really God.
I can see that. I mean, it was pretty brutal. I didn't really read the Old Testament, you know, trying to get through the Bible. It's hard to read. Very hard to read.
It's very long-winded.
Man, dude. I'm like, what the? Why
But you have
these
to,
words?
but you have to also understand that this is you're reading the English version of something that was written once in Greek, Latin, and Aramaic.
Around a couple times, so I want to make it easier. It's just
The most common one's the King James edition. So
I mean, I can agree with that. It had to be Baal, I guess, or even the devil.
There's also Baphomet. That's why there's like this whole notion now that like Jews are Satanists because of like the Old Testament and the Talmud and all the things that are going on. I know we're taking a turn, and that's very popular now to shit on Jews. It's becoming ultra popular. It's one of the top things on Instagram. You can fucking, you know, I see Hitler things all the time, constantly.
Or Jews, man.
Nah.
Jews.
But you know, again, I don't know how true that is with the whole Baal statement, but I'm pretty sure that's what like I've read is that that's like there's like a correlation in there. That's why there's such a vast difference between God and God's idea of everything in the Old Testament versus the New Testament. But then again, just as people change, can't God not change and realize that, hey, this is how I have to tackle these things with these people?
Absolutely. It has to be some sort of being that's like felt something before, right? Everything has to feel.
I don't know.
But
there is an uncaused cause.
Also, how long do you think it would take you to realize that you're so goddamn bored? I got to create something, dude. Like, you think it happened?
I don't know if
around for a while?
I don't know if the grand creator of us is the grand creator of all.
I know. It's weird. But then there has to be something that created all, you know. So
So there's an uncaused cause. There's an unmoved mover. There's nothing that happens because of nothing. Something has to happen for something else to happen. It's just the laws of nature. So there is an uncaused cause out there. I don't know if it's a celestial being. I don't know if it's God with a fucking long beard, you know, the pearly gates with a long beard. I don't know how that works.
Just light, dude.
Maybe. And again, I don't know. I believe that a lot of it has to do with the oldest religions. You look back to ancient Greek, ancient Roman. You look back to Hinduism, those kind of cultures. You know, you find a lot of them talk about reincarnation, things like that. So I believe a lot more of that. I believe that that's more possible that your soul gets reincarnated because there's people. I believe that the people that are in your life most intimately, you're encountered throughout your life process. And I believe that each person is at a different point in their journey in lives. Like maybe in your past life, you got a little bit closer to what you were supposed to do. And in this life, you're going to get a little bit closer. Eventually, at one point in your life, in your next life cycle, you're going to find what you're supposed to do and be at the best, most virtuous version of yourself. That's what I think. And that's why I think everybody's born with some kind of issue. Like some people are just born liars and they need to work on. Some people are born cheaters. Some people are born.
Why would you think that, though?
Think what?
The way you thought about life and then just reincarnation to try again.
Because those religions made the most sense to me. There was not, I could, you know, there's so many different ways in Christianity and Judaism and Islam that you can find contradictions and just straight up retardation, in my opinion, versus the old ways. It made more sense. Their stories link up more. That's just how I look at it. I don't know if necessarily Shiva or whoever it is. I don't know necessarily the God part of it.
You think you like it more because it's just more peace?
They're not peaceful.
What, you know?
Fucking no way. They're not peaceful, dude. Those are the gods. The Greek gods are fucking popping in people's houses and raping women, dude. Dropping loads and having babies and saying bye. they're not even.
Seems a little bit better.
No, it's a definitely
a hot, sexy man coming in flying like an owl, dude. They flew in into an owl. He popped up. He said, "We're fucking." He said.
I mean, I will say that it is definitely a sexier religion. Like it's more interesting.
Pretty crazy. You'd have to be a partier back then.
And I do respect all religions to the most part that I can. I think some of their stuff is pure mental retardation, but the same people that will shit the same people that will shit on the Greek and Roman mythology are the same people that will believe in God and the God sent his only son down and Mary was a virgin, all this stuff. So if those things are plausible, how is what I believe totally nuts?
I don't think it's nuts.
And all these people, all these Christians, like Christians, Jews, all those people, Muslims, they've killed each other and they've killed so many people and so many polytheistic belief people. I won't call them pagans because paganism was originally a word invented by Christians to discredit the polytheistic religions of Greece and Rome, of our Celtic heritage, the Germanic tribes. This is why I believe personally in my heart why Christianity, Judaism, any of these religions that I could have chosen if I wanted to, I never felt close to until I started reading these other ones, more about the Celtic religions and the Scandinavian ones, talk about Odin and Loki. Those are because that's my heritage. That inside me. That's who I come from. People that from hundreds of thousands of years ago that were from that area. That's the religion that's in their DNA almost. So it correlates to as you get older. It feels more familiar. So for me, I think it's
they're the ones in control of like life when it happens, when it stops.
What do you mean?
If those religions, well, I guess how are like people born? Like were they just created? What was the creation?
I don't know.
Fuck.
I don't.
You think they're in the cycle going?
I don't know. I can't tell you. I can't tell you.
Motherfuckers.
I'm not. Maybe I should say that I don't. I haven't been at that point in my research.
Listen, I understand what you're saying. I'm fucking around for the most part, dude. I feel like I can get down with that. I guess almost. No, I don't know.
Just
man.
think with the people.
I really don't know anymore.
I know, but
I'm gonna be honest with you, man.
It's very fucking. What
the fuck is even? What is it? I don't even care.
There's many skeptical. There's many.
It's going to be like DMT. I'm going to just see and blast off into somewhere land. It's going to be a light. And at that point, if I can think to myself, get away from the light, dude.
Or maybe you make maybe everybody has their own heaven and hell.
Maybe there's how would there be a heaven? It just doesn't make sense to me. I don't think, man. Maybe it could be vast and forever and you're good, but like, what would be the?
Or maybe it's as simple as
you just sit there. You're there. You're in this body. You ever feel the same?
I don't think so.
You're in a right.
I think deja vu has a lot to do with that.
Pure happiness instead of the vice versa, which would be hell, which is pure pain. Obviously, you want heaven.
I think deja vu has a lot to do with that. I think also dreams of being somewhere that you haven't been have a lot to do with your past life. I do believe that people that are intimate in your life are also from your past life, whether that be in a past life you and I were boyfriend and girlfriend, or we were best friends. It does in any aspect.
The first thing you went to, dude.
Because I want to fuck you, dude. No, but what I'm saying,
you did this boyfriend and girlfriend. You pointed at yourself when you said boyfriend. We're under a lot of assumptions today.
Is your ego that fragile? We have to go down this road? No, but I do believe there's a little bit of that because there's people that I'm friends with where, like, in my mind, I don't know what it's like to not be friends with them. And yes, you could say it's been a very long time, but it's deeper than that. It seems like it's been like that for years, but even before that, we've been friends this long. So I think that there's people also in your life that you've been in other parts of your past life that you guys are just kind of soul ties. Everybody is. I think there's people that have multiple soul ties. Some people have more than others, or some people just don't ever run into those people ever again. I've gotten very lucky with certain people. There's probably out of my friends, a small handful. And I also believe that before you come into this body, you kind of agree to the life path that you have. we don't remember these things, I don't think, but I think that we were kind of presented like an offer of like, okay, you take this life as Zakariah Aikman, this is the life you're going to have. If you do, this is the best that you could do. If you do the best, if you work as best as you can with these cards, this is the best outcome. If you don't, this is the worst outcome, or you can stay here and die or whatever. And so we've all agreed in every part of the aspect, I think, of
You just stay here and die.
or like you're just gone. We all agree.
Die, dude.
We all agree on the life terms that we have. That's why people. I think that's why the universe shits on you when you're not kind of keeping up your end of the contract.
I don't know, man. Like I said,
people where it just keeps getting worse.
This is so
Snowball effect.
It's so odd to think about now. I don't know. Just fucking.
I think mine's pretty interesting.
I don't know. Yeah, I think it is too. I think it can make sense as well. It's just like the whole thing of like. It's still just a thought. What if you're just completely wrong as well, you know? And like, I'm not trying to bag on it or anything.
No,
it's the
no.
same thing. Like, I think I'm not correct about a lot of things. So I just fucking, it's like, what is it now, man? Like,
I can't, as much as I want to say that I'm right, there is that very much possibility I could be totally wrong. But I think it makes the most sense just based on the people that believe these things, the people that prove the the people that have written these things down, and how common the stories are. Like Christianity changes a lot. You have different books inside there. You have Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John, the original Gospels that talk about Jesus Christ, but they're all slightly different. There's some stuff that they equivocally believe. You know, Jesus was there. Jesus did this. Jesus did that. Jesus died on the cross. But there's all different details and stuff that are different in each one of those books. So with a lot of these Hindu religions, things like that, just nice. Hindu religion, stuff like that, a lot of their stories are just consistent. There's no changes in them. And even a lot of them share similar stories to Greek mythology, to Nordic mythology. So it's, to me, all these countries are so far away from each other in these cultures, but yet they share the similar stories without even knowing who they are at that point. Or maybe they do know who they are, but still, you know, and people always have this weird thought that, you know, these are the reason why it doesn't feel close to people like you or I probably is because these are Middle Eastern religions. Judaism, Catholicism, all this stuff, these are from Israel. These are from the Middle East. They're not
Did you
from.
say gods are just aliens?
I don't really believe in aliens. I believe more in interdimensional beings. I don't really believe that there's like I would love it for it to be like Men in Black, you know.
So I guess when I say alien, I obviously just mean something that's just not from Earth, you know.
Yeah, I believe
so
there's
it's from another dimension.
I think it has to do with the
although
planets.
It could be an Earth in another dimension, dude. So you're kind of playing tricky ball.
I think the planets are part God.
So.
And I think that I'm really going to go.
What did you say?
So I'm going to go down a loop here. I've had thoughts about how the planets could possibly be the gods, and that things that go down are actually controlled by these planets that are gods. He said they didn't have the ability to look at a planet. They use names through constellations. Like they didn't have the ability to like look at Mercury or like Venus or those, like they couldn't like grab it or pull it out of the sky and say there it is, but they named them.
So you think these planets are conscious?
In a way, yeah. They've had the space stations and the satellites they shoot up have been shot down by random bolts of lightning in outer space, and people say that's
totally
Zeus.
Normal. That's a normal thing.
People say that's Zeus. Zeus doesn't like technology.
So this planet, though, which one is Zeus?
I don't know.
Oh, this is a problem. I don't know. I have a hard time with that one. I really have a hard time with that, dude.
I got
planets. I can't think of a
more
planet just fucking being like, no.
Well, I mean, it's not like no. It's just that there's vibes. There's electricity frequencies. It's deeper than that.
It's obviously not that simple. I get that, dude. Obviously, that's if I was a planet, I'd say, get out of here, man. Fucking. But it's probably, it's got some little fucking. It's just,
so, I mean, again, this is all. I know it sounds like a schizophrenic hot dream,
dude.
But like these are the things I think about when I'm alone in my room.
Yeah, but everything is kind of like a schizophrenic thought, right? If you think about it, because nothing is never ever proved. Nothing's proved. Nothing's proved.
In that realm, nothing is really proven.
Religion or anything like that it's not proved. Aliens, we're getting close, but you still don't know because you think it's the government doing it, and you're like, is it real? Is it not real? Is someone fucking with us?
Well,
maybe.
I don't know.
But
I would reference Plutarch if I were you.
Plutarch.
Yeah, so Plutarch was like the historian of the ancient Greece, and this guy wrote about everything, not even just Greek, everything in the world at that time. And he has a bunch of stories about that, a bunch of stories about Atlantis and how our world started. And, Atlantis was basically the best of the best, and then it was wiped away for whatever reason, and then we're here.
Just like that. It was very simple. I feel like you skipped a lot of stuff after.
Well, there's definitely
Atlantis was destroyed, and you're like, then we here? I was like,
but I'm saying the people that of Atlantis, these were like the best of the best. We've had this planet's been here for millions and millions of years that has had humans or human-like people.
Like, do you think we like the timeline is skewed? They just made shit up at a certain point. Like, do you believe in Tatarian?
I don't know the Russian thing.
Well, yeah, I mean, I guess, but we were way
Tataria.
more advanced back in like I think they were saying like the 1700s. Like nothing they say happened from like that point beyond. It was just basically.
Well, there are some things that make me like if you look at
we were technology involved, and then we bum, and then the 1800s came around. We just restarted, and we were like, woohoo! You know.
I would say there was definitely a time.
I get the gist of it. I need to probably read more into it, but
well, no, I know what you're talking about.
Go for it.
Look at the Chicago World's Fair. And look at the architecture and all that stuff there, and how there's stuff there that they can't even like replicate nowadays. So maybe there is some truth to that. I don't know about Tataria. I know about it, but I don't know enough about to refute. I'd have to do some more research. I have a buddy that talks about that shit all the time. But there is an alarming amount of times where it just seems that we were like doing really well, and then we forgot everything.
You know what is wild? Did you hear that they harnessed the power of a tiny sun?
Where?
At the fucking. See, I'm fucking up, man. I got a little fucking name. That thing that goes in a circle, makes a lot of energy.
I don't know. Well, you better find a video to splice in when you edit this.
I will, dude. It's because it'll explain it a lot better. But I heard it, man. Read about it. I said, "Woo, dude, that is fucking interesting." They're trying to make a tiny black hole.
We don't need that.
That's gonna go good, right?
We don't need that. Well, it's just retarded, like because everybody's just gonna it always gets used for military use, and there's gonna be some fucking
explained like a black hole death, like how it would happen.
It's all skeptical.
Fast. Yeah, obviously it's spectacle, and they're going off maybe like their science of what they think, how it happens, what happens to your body, and it sounds horrible. Sounds horrible. I was listening to stories. I used to listen to these scary stories, dude, when I was painting, dude. The best. This guy had the most horrible voice, but the stories are fucking grade A, man. I really liked them. There was a story about this dude who traveled to the fucking future, and the guy he was working for opened a black hole to destroy the whole entire fucking Earth, dude. And it was a very scary story. And then I learned about the black hole thing, and you just get pulling apart slowly, dude.
I don't think you would feel it, though.
I don't know. I think you would, dude. It would be horrible.
I mean, it depends. I guess it depends.
I want to die, dude.
But I don't really know. I feel that if they're doing something like that, then maybe it's not as dangerous as we think, and they just tell us that it's dangerous just to like fuck with us. They being the people that control this world. Now, I would be lying to you if I told you I didn't think it was interesting, but I think most of what we've been taught about space is bullshit.
What do you think space is? You believe in that firmament thing?
I just find it odd.
You know?
Well, I just find it very, very odd that we know more about our space, where we're millions and millions and millions of light years away from places, but we know more about that than we do our own fucking oceans.
You think we go into space?
I think we've been in the atmosphere, maybe, but I don't think we've ever been in any space.
That's where those people were for the last like 8 months. They just got back.
What people?
SpaceX one. SpaceX flight. They got stuck up in space. They're supposed to be there for 8 days. They're there for 8 months.
I didn't even know about that.
I was watching them there on that live feed come on, and
what did they do for food if they weren't supposed to be out there for 8 months?
I don't know. I
That's
guess
why
they might have had rations or something. They obviously have an explanation for it.
Oh yeah, I'm sure they do because that's the first thing. But I just feel like there's a lot of bullshit in there.
Interesting. Now, again, it could be set up. We never know, dude. Have you been to space?
Well, just like think of it like 1960. I think it's 67 or 60. No, 69. It was July 17th, 1969. I think is when they did the first launch. Maybe it was August 17th when those guys went to the moon. Supposedly. To me, I just find it odd that we didn't have cell phones really back then, but a radio frequency from moon could get to Earth in a certain amount of time for us to hear real time what's going on. And then also video could get to the Earth. And this is a time where they didn't, if you look at the old like computer systems they had, most of the computers that they had in the offices were just written paper that they were pulling up. That was written equations and shit like that, how to get things done. So you're telling me during that time, they went to moon, everybody landed, there were some issues, but they got out of it, everybody came back. But they can't do it now? Oh, we don't know some of the technology. What? We can clone animals and shit now. You're telling me they can't do that? That's one of the things that they say.
India said they were trying to go there. not sure if they launched a rocket or not.
I don't know how I feel about that. You saw those people on the streets, dude.
Okay, dude, they're breaking it with their feet, dude.
Yeah.
It's going to be primo, dude.
Go to the moon. It's like a fucking Indian.
Spicy in there, dude. That's for sure. But
So,
I don't know. Maybe they did, though, man. I don't know, man. You know,
but it's like there's
a real
too
fucking
many.
brain
There's
beater.
too many bigger. Like if there was bullshit what ifs, like if they were just kind of small little, you're just being ridiculous, Zach, come on. But these are big questions. How the fuck does a radio frequency come from there to fucking Earth? No problem. But they couldn't even do that. You couldn't call someone collect on a cell phone in Vietnam all the way to the United States. But you could sure as hell call, go to the moon, radio back to Earth, and everything's fine. Like that's just weird to me. And then also you have the same thing with
brings up a very good
and then the
point.
same thing with like the fact that we can't go back there now in 1969. Like what? That was 55 years ago. That was 56 years ago. How the fuck could they not figure it out by now?
Couldn't they just not be telling us? Couldn't they just be saying, we're going to the moon, don't tell the public, though, because
of course. And then there's like certain things like how they were bouncing and how there was like, the way they were driving the lunar thing, the rover didn't make any sense.
I know, there's that whole video.
And again, that's when you start digging into the world of, okay, dude, you're being a little ridiculous. But the first questions I ask are very, very, very reasonable, I think. They're overly reasonable questions that are definitely should be, they're never answered. And Buzz Aldrin, that guy has gone rogue, and he just says whatever he wants, and he just says, yeah, there's aliens, and also we were never on the moon.
Did he say what kind of aliens? Is it like
no, I don't know. I've never gotten that deep into it. But
interdimensional thing, I believe a lot more. You think you see aliens before you die?
I don't know about that, dude.
You don't think so?
No, man. I think it's a lot simpler.
That's really what keeps me going, dude.
I think it's more simple than that.
Obviously, it's not the only thing that keeps me going.
Humans have this grandiose nature. Like we have this in us to be very grandiose, especially in anything that we do individually. We want our deaths to be this big extravagant thing when I think it's a lot more simple than that. I feel like
don't you want to see something just miraculous before you die, dude? Like something wild.
I want to do.
Don't you want to be there to see that?
I want to do miraculous wild things right now.
Right. I get that. And that's fine. That's cool. I'm saying, though, the top thing that probably will never happen, but if it does, you got to it, dude. Come on. It would be sick. If you saw some big old alien ship or something come down, a couple aliens jump on out, whether they start ripping you up or they just start fucking you, dude, you're going to be happy.
I think you're misunderstanding when I say, I'm saying that humans have this natural, I'm not saying that I would not want some bodacious shit like that to happen. What I'm saying is that we have this nature in us to be grandiose in these times of death or birth or any of these things when it's really simple. It's very simple. I think you just die. You have your little premonition. You might even see your life go back before your eyes. And then you make that new contract and you move on to the next life.
A little contract action.
I think that's what I think it is. And that's why I think when people don't hold up their end of the contract, that's when life gets sucks. That's why I felt so depressed being a car salesman. I wasn't living up to what I should be doing. This is what I should be doing. Having conversations on podcasts with people and playing my drums.
Now, let's go back to the interdimensional thing. What do you think about the whole thing? Like, do you think you're seeing in other dimensions when you're tripping?
I don't
DMT.
know. I think that the DMT gives you ability to see the brain.
What are you seeing?
For me, personally?
Yeah.
For me, when I've had my most intense trips on, let's keep it simple and just say LSD.
No. Go to DMT. Because that's the only thing that really have made me see other things.
I never had the experiences you've had on DMT.
I guess that is true.
Maybe because I haven't pushed myself. I need to take, when I take that first week off for PTO, I want to do some crazy shit. I hope
the only one I have left is the 4-in-1. And that means it's 4-to-1, like the DMT 4. And usually I get a 2-to-2, so you can hit it. This one takes one hit, dude.
Okay, well, we should get together on one of our days off. And
we just have to fix it because something's wrong with the tip. I can't suck off. I was like, it's clogged with all the shit. I'm like, uh-oh.
But you take the biggest rip of your life. But anyway,
I was about to one day, but I didn't because it was clogged. So
probably.
So I hit the other one, and it was weird, dude.
But I'll just keep it simple though with like LSD. For me, at least in the beginning, and let's say I'm having a good LSD trip that doesn't start right away with visuals. Visuals come during the middle part. I would say I see things for what they really are in the beginning. Like when I look at people, like there were some people that we used to hang out with when I would trip and I would see demons. Like they're a demonic person. They just their aura. Where I'd see someone like you, where I'm like, oh, you know what? This is a true blue guy. These are the reasons why I'm still friends with certain people. I will say is because of the tripping. I did a lot of tripping. You and I tripped a lot back in those days. And I got to see people for who they were and think about them in a different light without them even knowing that I was doing it because I was tripping my balls off. And even if I tried to explain to them, I wouldn't be able to because I was tripping my balls off. But it made sense to me. So I don't know. I've never seen aliens. I've never seen things like that. I've seen bats. I've seen other things. I've seen crazy things form into the ground. I've seen monkeys with you on your ground of your garage. I've seen like crickets and all sorts of weird fucking shit in your top because the garage was like cork. The top part was cork, so I saw all crazy shit in there. But other than that, I've never had experiences like that. I aim to. I want to have experiences like that.
We got to. Then we'll come back to this conversation at another time, dude. Because because I wonder what it is, dude. I mean, some of the times I've had, dude, like I started having. You're not supposed to do this, but I was doing it for like a week straight after work. I'd come home, lay down on the couch, the sun would still be shining, I'd just lay there sore as fuck, and I'd just
like working at
blast
Holland?
off. And no, painting.
You're painting?
I was painting. And then I'd lay there, dude, and it was always a little gnome pushing blocks together, and there was this little demon lady that I've only seen. Remember when I talked about that when we went to the DMT? I saw this demon shaking its ass in front of me. I was like, dude.
She hot though?
I mean, I guess you don't really see. It's like it's hard to.
I feel
it's like
when I picture it's like a Bella Danger.
Purplish, but it's a perfect body. She's naked. She got a tail. Her tongue's out, and fucking, she's in high heels.
Nice.
And it's just, it's doing that, then shaking its ass at me. Very odd.
I think it's also correlates.
What it was doing there was telling the gnome what to do, and it looked back at me. It smiled, and then I opened my eyes again and went back, and you just saw the gnome. And you saw this thing doing cartwheels, dude. The little demon was doing cartwheels around this little
Were you
lamp.
scared? Did you feel threatened?
No.
So maybe just chilling.
I have a pretty good mindset on that, though. Whenever that's why I've never freaked out on hallucinogens, man. It's like, if it's real, if I go that
people
deep,
that freak out should never have done them.
if I go that deep where something starts to seem real, and it's like not, and I'm hallucinating, then we got a problem, dude. If I start losing track of what reality was, but never have.
I think it's also reasonable to think that maybe you're a life path 7. We've talked about this.
Yeah.
And you're born on the 25th, right? So you're born on the 7th. So you're 777. 7 is the number of like spirituality, things like that. So maybe you are more apt to having those kind of experiences, and maybe you're more ready. Maybe I'm the spirit realm, whatever realm's up there, is waiting for me to have that experience, and maybe I haven't been worthy enough in my early years. Because I mean, I've taken the same amount as you in some aspects, but for a little bit, I was actually ahead of you, and even when I tripped on the quad of shrooms, I had some crazy experiences, and it was nuts. But I didn't have anything like what you've told me, and I think it's for good reason. I've had some pretty intense like DMT trips, like where I was like that for 10 minutes. I was bonkers. Like there was one where like I was like down here, and it blew out the bottom of the fucking basement over here. But other than that, I was sitting on this couch, and I was like, poof, and it went poof. I was like, whoa.
That was my first time, dude.
But other than that, I've never had. That took me a lot of trips to get to that level. So, again, maybe you're just, because of your life path, because of your natural vibes and frequency, you're supposed to be able to have those experiences. Maybe others aren't.
So then do you think that, what would that be then, if we go back to that original question, dude? That, what I'm seeing, a little gnome pushing around blocks, connecting things, dude. In like a translucent world, You can see through the blocks. It's just the outline of all the blocks.
I don't know. Maybe there's a hidden meaning behind that. Maybe there's a Jungian one to look into.
Do you think possibly, take this, all right? Just take this, really think about it. I think possibly our world is built by little tiny gnomes that are getting bossed around by little female naked devils that are doing cartwheels all the time. And they got to keep building this outer interdimensional shell around the life in our world to keep us going, because if they don't and it breaks through, bad things will get in, man. Dragons, fucking
dragons. I mean, hey, man, if mine's possible, I guess yours is.
It has to be, because why is that in my head? I don't really think about gnomes. I don't, building things, not really. I guess I don't really enjoy it sometimes, but I do it.
Well, what I'm trying to get into,
demon ladies, dude.
I'm trying to get into what's called active imagination. So this is what Carl Jung talked about. You should actually look into him, because he had stuff that he published after he died because he was so afraid that his colleagues would shit on him. And he talked about active imagination, where he would be able to get into a state of hallucinogenic experience and have conversations with certain things that helped him without being on any drugs. And he talks about how to do it. He talks about some of the demons he talked to, all these things he talked to, all these real crazy. There's pictures of the figures that he saw. They're the craziest looking things you've ever seen. And he had conversations with them, and they helped him out with his personality, with some things. He also coined the idea of the collective unconscious. So there's like a world that we don't really understand, but it's like certain traits are passed in like this like brain cloud that we don't know about. That's why we all have them. It's why we all fear certain things, why we get happiness of certain things. It's pretty actually pretty cool. Why people just know things, like or how people just know each other. It feels like they've never not known each other. It's a collective unconscious. It's actually a pretty cool idea. He was one of the first like psychoanalysts. He was his first psychoanalyst, but he was the first kind of guy in that realm to not disregard the celestial and the magic world. The magic part of the world, the alchemy part of the world, the old world that we've forgotten about. So I've been trying to learn.
Dude, making fucking elixirs of immortality out of piss, dude.
I know you want that,
dude.
I don't know. He never really got into that, I don't think, but he talks about just
Kabbalism.
They talk about
Kybolian, dude.
Cabal.
Kybolian? No. It's not that. I think it's called Kybolian. Man, I hope that's right, dude. I'm pretty sure it's right. It's a weird ass fucking name. It's just a religion about alchemy. And that's where I got the pee thing from. I was like, no way. You pee and it has to crystallize the right way. And you either eat it or melt it down again and drink it, but then you're immortal.
If I could say I got a bunch of superpowers. Let's say I got like super strength, super speed, super healing. I got like
a couple things.
Like
you got to take into consideration this. You got super speed, you need something else. You need metal skin. Yeah. The second you hit something, dead.
Yeah.
You know? So
ultra healing is what you need.
Also, you have to have fast reflexes. With
but like if I
also speed come with fast reflex automatically? Should it come?
I think so.
You got to add on shit. It's like the genie trick. Be careful around a genie, dude.
Oh, you got to be careful.
A genie around here.
Genie, no. If I had all those things, I would want like a 50-to-1 ratio. Like in terms of like if you age 1 year, like 50 years for you is 1 year for me, kind of thing. I'd want to live like 1,000 years. That'd probably be as far as I want to go. That's immortal to me. No one is going to ever know who. Anybody that I knew originally is all deader than fried chicken by the time I die. So,
if you're immortal, you're going to eventually lose your mind.
I don't think so. I don't think you could ever. If you knew you were going to live forever and it wasn't just like I'm living and I don't know why I'm living, but I'm still here and I haven't aged, you would be able to learn so much. You'd be able to learn every language.
But you'd still be. I don't know. I think you'd lose it. You'd have to lose it.
Well, you wouldn't be able to be friends with anybody. You have to tell people the truth eventually.
Everyone, after a million years, dude. You would have to be fucking don't know what to do anymore. You've done everything in every life. You got another life coming around now, and you're like, matter of meteor hit. Oh my god, meteor hits the Earth, dude. Boom.
It's just you.
How long is the Earth gonna? It's gonna take a while. You just walk around in hot lava, dude. Ay. Give me off the Earth, man. You
just slice it through, but you're healing at the same time. Exactly. But as you're healing, your fucking shit's going away.
Soon enough, you become a rock man, and you just have rocks on you, and you're walking around. You say, "What do I do? I don't know. Hit me with a fucking
rock man,
wave, dude. And you're underwater."
But if I living forever sounds like a cool aspect. But again, there's that aspect. To me, it's just the connections, dude. You could never let's say I give a moral, and none of you guys did. You guys are all my childhood friends. Once you're dead, once your guys is dead, it's gonna be so weird. I could never make childhood friends again. If I was to say I stopped aging at this age, I would have to make friends that were my age, and it'd be so hard to keep a relationship because by the time 40 comes along, I'm like, Zach, dude, why the fuck do you? What is your secret? Like, you eat junk food all day and do nothing. You know what I mean?
You'll die and I'll live.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? But still, it's like if like you'd be the best better ever. Like, dude, I'll smoke cigarettes and be fine. I'll never get cancer. I'll never die. But still, it's just it depends, I guess, on the personality that you have going into it. If you're very narcissistic, you're not going to care.
If I evolved with my mortality, then I'd be cool with it. But if I had to stay like a human,
what do you want to be? Like,
I grow wings, or like I grow another leg. I get a couple arms.
Oh, so you would want to have as you're immortal, you're every couple thousand years something new happens.
Something new happens.
Like one day you wake up and you're like,
yeah, dude, I'm a spider. No, I don't want that. But maybe I get to fly. Maybe,
dude, there's this movie, speaking of spiders, off topic, but there's a movie with Dan Aykroyd. It's like a low budget movie, but it's about this dude who gets bitten by a radioactive spider, but does not go down the way like it should go down. And he just has like this incredible hunger. And he wakes up at like fucking 12 in the morning. He just starts attacking people and eating them and shit like that, dude. Because he's like, they start making these weird spider noises, and he's just like, I'm hungry.
I've seen a couple of those. I saw a short film with Spider-Man. If it went wrong, and the spider bits me, he turns into a fucking spider.
Yeah,
creepy.
I think that's the movie we're talking about. So Dan Aykroyd plays the investigator in the movie.
Maybe, I guess so. But yeah, it's horrible.
Did his buddy work
or something?
Did his buddy make a comic book after him at the end?
Maybe. I just remember him meeting his mom. And I was like, that sucks.
Yeah.
And fucking, he's like, oh, help me. Fucking, he's going down alleys. Gets the girl. So
I mean, something like that happened. But I feel like that's the reality of it. I don't think it would go down like Peter Parker. That's exactly how it would go down.
It would be
a radioactive
giant spider, and you're fucked, man.
And it would be painful. Like, it wouldn't be an easy process.
No.
Your DNA changing like that, because slowly. I would imagine that it would just eat your DNA slowly, so you just feel every bit of pain. Kind of like that one dude, that Japanese dude, who got blasted with like a ridiculous amount of radiation, and they kept him alive for like 90 days. They tried to keep him alive, and they kept giving him skin transplants and like blood fusions. It was just shit. Was just his. They checked his DNA, and it looked different from when before he got blasted. Like he got. Like it changed everything in his body. Like
he just died, or could they have?
He had a heart attack eventually. He had a heart failure.
I'm gonna say, just imagine if they kept him going and his DNA completely changed to something else, and it was just better, dude. And that's what they started to do to people.
No,
there's nothing. Blast you with radiation.
There's nothing better about this, dude. He looked rough, dude. From the pictures I saw, I even went on Reddit, and all you could find was blurred pictures, but you could kind of get the gist.
That's the reality of the Incredible Hulk. If you got blasted with all that radiation that Bruce Banner got blasted with, you're that guy.
But
you're
the only thing is that, but also Bruce Banner had a like something in his body that made him okay with it, though. Like, right? Didn't he have something going on before that like released it?
Probably.
The radiation just released what was already inside.
The reality is, no one has that in their body, dude.
Well, yeah, but that is the reality. The guy, he was like, from what I read, from what I saw from the movie, it was like two dudes that were like behind, like they were by the machines and the computers. And then there was the one dude and another dude assisting him. And the one dude that got really blasted, he like put the shit inside the kettle, and the kettle had some kind of weird reaction. It all blew, and he got like hit with like 300,000 times the deadly amount of he just got owned. And like they kept him alive for like 90 days. And it was like, it kind of coined the question of like, it was like the doctors were like, listen, like he's going to die and he's in a lot of pain. This guy was like diarrheaing every 5 seconds. Like his body was just cooked. And they're like, well, we're going to try to keep him alive. And they were like, please let us kill him. Like, please, like he's going to die. It's going to be very painful. This guy every day for 90 days was in pain every day. Even if they gave him medication, I don't think it mattered. And then finally he died of a heart attack. No, he had a heart attack. They brought him back, then he died for another one.
No, dude. Sorry. I would be getting mad at that point, dude. I'm like, dude, please, I don't care anymore.
Like there was nothing. Even if they gave him skin grafts, he's not gonna look normal again. Dude, look like a big red puffball.
Radiation's too deep. It's too deep.
And the thing is that when your skin's that fucking exposed, that's why burns are so much worse, because your chances of infection are like 10 times worse. So they had to keep him in like a containment thing. So he was like sitting there in a fucking bubble, having people touch him and shit like that while he's laying down in excruciating the amount of burning pain. Like,
fuck that, dude.
Like, that's torture, dude. Like, I would have sued the fuck out of these people.
It's not a way I'd want to go out, dude. I'm not doing that, dude. That's crazy.
Now, granted, those places didn't really use proper safety gear, but I think about that every time I do a kettle at my work. If one day, if the wrong chemical or someone does something stupid, or I have a lazy operator that doesn't do something right and I get blown into shit. Like when they had the isopropyl leak while I was doing K6. Under it.
No,
and the welders were fucking up there, dude. That shit would have blown me through the roof, dude. I'd have been
done for, dude.
Like Jess and Paula would have been fine, but I had to be fucked.
Done for, dude. I don't fucking like. Yeah, no, I don't know, man. I kind of stopped worrying about it over there. I was like, fuck it. I don't care. I don't fucking care. I get this done as quick as I fucking can.
Oh, I do quick. I do the 1930. I got the 1935 down to an hour and 5 minutes.
I've been fucking drumming though, but fucking.
Yeah, dude, you're ahead of me now.
I know, dude. Fuck it.
I can drum. I don't drum that often.
Drummer, man. That's me, dude. The drummer boy.
I wish I could drum more often, but I don't drum. But anyway, fuck work.
Dude, if you could live in a cartoon, any of the cartoons or animes you've seen, dude, if you could live in that type of life, which one would it have to be, dude?
Dude.
I know you don't watch them a lot.
I know you think I'm going to say Dragon Ball Z.
No way. That wasn't. I didn't think so. I think you're a little bit deeper than that.
I was gonna go Gundam Wing.
Gundam, dude.
I just thought the aspect of flying huge fucking robots in space just makes me so happy. Like
Gundam, dude. You know, dude, I'd do Cowboy BeBop.
Cowboy BeBop is fire too.
Because there's
yeah, dude, and because it's a sexy, like it's sexy.
It's sexy, dude. And you're like, yeah.
Cowboy BeBop's fucks. But yeah, mostly Gundam Wing is just nostalgic for me as a kid. That was the first anime or any like cool adult. I considered adult cartoon.
That was dope, dude. Was it on Adult Swim or was it Cartoon Network?
This was like the 90s, dude. This is when I was like really young. I think it might have.
When the fuck did Adult Swim come around?
Like 99.
Okay.
I was like, it was before that. You got like VHS.
They changed all the hardcore animes to like fucking.
Well, I had a buddy whose brother, his name was Nathan. His brother's name was
Cornelius.
No. I think Malcolm or
Nathaniel.
Ian. No, that's fucking retarded. Ian Malcolm's fucking from Jurassic Park. It was like a nerdy name. It was like a nerdy name, but he was a black guy, but he had a nerdy name. And well, he
Keltrid.
I forgot his name, but anyways, he had all these animes on VHS. he had all the old animes. He showed us the old Tekken movies.
Those were fucking
like when he gets kicked
badass.
off the fucking, then he gets kicked off by his dad on the fucking mountain, dude. I was like, oh man, I don't want a dad. Which is crazy.
Survive.
But, Tekken would be pretty cool too. But yeah, the first one I ever watched with him and his brothers, it was like it was the Gundam Wing and then Tekken, the Gundam Wing, and we watched for like 10 hours. It was crazy. And
I need to know what anime Austin fucking had you watch, man.
I don't really watch it.
I know. I need to know what he showed you, dude.
He's shown
I've
me.
been thinking about it ever since you told me that day, dude.
He likes the more intense series. Like he likes the more like ooh, the kind of people, you know, that kind of shit. Like
Oh, no.
you know, I think he does.
Well, this is bad. Got exposed to the wrong thing.
I mean, but it's just not for me. I've tried it. I don't think it has anything to do. This is not my thing.
Watch Afro Samurai?
Yeah.
Of course you did, dude. You like Ninja Kaimu, dude.
All right, I'll give it a shot.
Give Ninja Kaimu a shot.
Where's
bro.
Ninja
It's an
Kaimu?
Adult Swim one. It's on Crunchyroll probably if you have it. It's on.
I don't have Crunchyroll. I'm not a nerd.
Get you the Dusty. I got if you got some internet you can get onto on the TV or some shit. I got a website. Fucking go and do it. Cartoons. Ninja Kaimu, dude.
That's pretty sweet.
Good shit, dude.
But
Fucking
that
pretty sick. There's this disgusting man in it. You'll love it, dude.
I would like Digimon would have been pretty cool. Digimon, digital monsters, Digimon Guardian Champions.
Dude.
I
Digimon Guardians Jump 'em.
I just hated fucking. I liked Pokemon, but everybody was so obsessed with it, and like I just wanted to try something that no one else ever was watching. So I started watching that, and then the movie came out, and it made my mom take me to that shit like 3 times, dude.
Funny shit, dude. Digimon was cool. I liked Yu-Gi-Oh as well, but then
I did not
those
like
are the ones I
Yu-Gi-Oh.
grew out of, man. I was like that Pokemon.
Well, those are very mainstream. Like even Dragon Ball Z is mainstream, but not as mainstream as those were. Those were especially Pokemon and Yu-Gi-Oh because of the card
The main
game.
reason I kept on Dragon Ball Z is because fucking I watched it when I was younger, and they just kept making
That's
it.
another thing.
Unfortunately, now if they go the route they're going right now, I'm not too happy.
What happened? What's going on? Give us a
Well,
scoop.
the main guy died, Akira Toriyama. I'm pretty sure that's his name. The guy who made the series originally.
So it's gonna go to shit now.
Well, dude's dead now. His son took over. I'm fairly certain it's his son. They took over, but the guys who did Dragon Ball Super, the manga, is different. It won't let them have the rights to start making a TV show of it, of the second season. It's just fucking dope as well. So they made another one, Dragon Ball Daima, dude. And this motherfucker turns them into kids again, dude, which just pisses me off, dude. Really makes
So
me upset.
Gohan's a kid and Goku's a kid. And all of
Goku's a kid, Vegeta's a kid, Piccolo's a kid, Kami, or not Kami, fucking, who's
what
the
were they
fucking
doing?
little blue
Tiny
guy?
Toon Adventures over there?
Everyone's
What the fuck
fucking-
is that?
Everyone's a kid. Bulma, everyone's a kid. Everyone.
I don't
You don't
like
see Gohan. Gohan's not even in this shit.
Okay, well at least they're keeping it.
So
making sense.
I'm trying to push through it because at the end of it, he gets Super Saiyan 4, dude. Okay? And that was cool in GT, and I wanted to see it again. He looks like a fucking monkey from Donkey Kong, dude. And I was like, why? Why? Why, dude? And now that's the series they have to go with. That's canon. That has to keep going. I'm pissed, dude. Austin said it to me. He says, it's really good. I said, I don't trust you, but I have to watch it now, dude.
Yeah, I
It's my rant.
no, I like to hear this because I don't know enough about it to refute you, so it helps me learn. But Dragon Ball Z will always the original Dragon Ball is what I watched before I knew what Dragon Ball Z was. The first Dragon Ball Z episode I've ever seen was when Gohan became the monkey. Before when he realized he had the abilities on top of the fucking, like you see Piccolo watching him all weird fucking turn into the fucking like monkey. First of all, why are you letting like a 5-year-old kid walk away?
Oh, that was like Raditz Frieza Saiyan saga.
Yeah, so it's like the early on of Dragon Ball Z, but that was the first episode I ever watched. I just started, that was one of the shows. But originally we watched Dragon Ball from the beginning all the way to like whatever he had. I think
You
he had,
watched when he was a kid?
yeah.
I never watched those. I literally started at the Raditz, dude.
Dragon Ball is pretty cool. It's a lot less intense as Dragon Ball Z. It's
Can't go back now, man.
No, you
Too late
can't.
for that.
It's very it's a lot more kid oriented. You have Goku's a little more playful. There's like cool adventures, but it's not like Dragon Ball Z where it's like brutal. Like people get fucking killed.
Not
and
as
blown.
brutal as it was. They do like saliva. It's like they don't do blood. It sucks. Because there's cool fight scenes that should have just been blood, but it's not. So I'm not too happy.
You're like a kid. You think that fighting's really like that until you bleed. You're like, what's this? I thought it
you
was
get
just
punched
spit.
in the face hard,
Spit and
dude.
sweat.
You get fucking punched in the face hard. It's rough, dude.
But yeah, Gundam Wing would be pretty fired. That would be the coolest one because I would be fucking people up with one of those things, dude. I would love it.
You think you'd be good at it?
Yeah, not a doubt.
Without it.
I'd be one of the best in the universe.
Just fucking whipping around, dude. Have you watched that that fucking season on Amazon Prime with all the video games? They animated like the Love, Death, and Robots series.
No, I did not know.
You seen Love, Death, and Robots?
No, what's that?
You're fucked, man. You're fucked. You need to watch it, dude. ASAP, dude.
What other
It's a
shows
bunch of
are
short films. It's a bunch of like 15 to 30-minute films, dude. Not 30 minutes. I guess it's 15 each. And they're wild, dude. They get wild. Some of them are kind of odd, but they're animated like, not like normal anime. It's like fucking, almost looks real anime, dude. And they go through some crazy shit, dude. It's pretty dope, dude. You gotta watch it, dude. You gotta watch it.
Huh.
You would watch that, and then there's another one. I forgot what it's called, but it's on Amazon Prime. There's Space Marines, like the Warhammer Space Marines on the cover of it. But it's a bunch of short little films they made about games, dude. And there's a Gundam one in there, dude, with Keanu Reeves.
Nice.
Keanu Reeves joins, and he's like, no one is me. He's just killing everybody. They're trying to send new guys at him. He's beating the fuck out of them. I was like, this is crazy.
But then after that, it gets a little weird. There's that one vampire one, too, that I've seen that's would be pretty kind of cool, I guess.
Castlevania?
Yeah, that'd be kind of cool.
I didn't watch that.
That's an old one, though. That's a really old one. Castlevania's been around for a long time.
Yeah, they just made a new season, though.
Oh, well, I'm talking about the old ones, I guess.
Interesting. Didn't know there was old ones, dude. Didn't know there was old ones. They do remake a lot of them, which makes sense, dude. They're remaking Berserk again.
Berserk would be pretty cool, but I wouldn't want to watch my girl get raped in front of me.
Napa Studios is doing it. So.
But that song that they play is like the best song ever.
Rough. Everyone was like, Mike kept telling me, he goes, dude, it's going to get rough. It's going to get real rough. I go, dude, this is a great story so far. And I was like, they're all getting along. They're beating the fuck out of people together. They're happy, you know. He's fucking they're in their dress robes. They're looking at each other through the window, you know. It's like, fucking, this is good, man. And then the last episode came around. I said, no.
Dude, it was like totally, they really did kind of.
I said, what are you doing to me, man? I felt so bad for that man, dude.
Yeah,
Stabbed in the eye, dude. In the shoulder, trying to get crawling, dude. Just screaming.
His arm gets off. While his girl gets raped by a dude.
His best friend, dude.
Yeah.
His boy, dude, that had his back. Fucked, dude. Hey, man.
And they're playing that song in the background.
That's the life, dude. You know, that would be wild, dude.
I
That's the hero's journey, man. You know, that's.
Yes.
If you were becoming a hero, it's not going to be like you saved the fucking chicken from the tree, man. It's fucking. You're going to see some horrible things.
Well, you know, you should look into Carl Jung's archetypes and find out which one you are. See, I've asked so many things about philosophers and everything like that. I can get ChatGPT to remember
just based off your personality deal.
Personality, things you've done. It's very deep though, and like I asked ChatGPT so many things, and it remembers what you guys talk about. So you can be like, remember when we talked about blah blah blah? Well, what do you think about this? And it remembers everything. So I asked it, what archetype I am based on what we've talked about, based on what I asked you about, and it told me I was in the philosopher artist archetype. And I'm like, wow, that explains so much and it's like, if you've ignored this archetype, you've had some issues in your life. And it basically said to me that if I embrace this archetype of what I am, which makes sense of the things I'm interested in, I'll go tenfold farther than I would if I didn't. And I think back, there were just some things that I tried to do like everybody else did when I was younger. It just did not work out. And it was just because I just couldn't do it. It was just weird. Even certain sports and shit were like that.
Yeah, I can't play basketball, dude. Everyone thought I was so good. They're like, you're so tall. Everyone based it off that. I was like,
but
no.
doesn't it show you how retarded people are?
I was like, no. Can't play basketball, man. Don't understand it. Something about it, dude. Can't rollerblade either, and that bothers me, dude. Gotta rollerblade, man.
Well,
I just want to get on them skates, man.
I could rollerblade like a motherfucker because I did that in middle school. Extreme wheels every weekend.
No extreme reels for me, man. Never learned.
I got my first blowjob there.
Or something, dude. I don't know. A lot of people got blowjobs there, I feel like.
Dude.
That was the place to be.
Yeah, dude. They would have like the dark light skates, and they'd have to fucking have people like shine lights in the corners to see who was fucking around, dude.
Oh, Jesus.
And like I've been there so many times, I knew where they couldn't see you, and they were always doing some kind of construction, dude. And I had the girl I ended up losing my virginity to. She was just fucking, do you want me to suck your dick? And I was in 7th grade. I was like, what? And I was like, yeah, dude. I didn't even know what the fuck was going on. I barely could bust a nut back then. I remember the first time I could bust it out. I'm like, girls are going to think I'm so cool. I remember thinking that like an idiot.
Now you hate it, dude. I hate everything about it now.
You hate about busting nuts?
I don't like busting nuts.
Why?
I wish nothing came out, dude. I wish it was just...
Remember back in the day you could do it a million times in a row?
A million times in a row, man. And no
problem.
mess, no problem. Not a big deal, dude. Dick hurts a little bit. You're all good, dude. It's going to make it muscular, dude. Fucking, you're just fucking... I just want air spit out. It just sounds like someone's spitting, dry spitting. I think it'd be better. A lot better, man. We can wrap it up. I think we're gonna wrap it up here, man.
Oh yeah, you know
we're
what?
running out of fucking battery over there.
Oh no.
And I didn't charge the other one, so
I think it was a good podcast. Sorry for the hiatus, but we had some stuff we had to take care of. You know how it is.
it's an hour in, dude. And yeah, little things we had to take care of, man. It's no big fucking
We got this
deal.
episode. We got another episode we got to put out.
We'll see which one comes first. Dude. This one might be after. I have to. Oh, it's just that. It's James Bach. You know who it.
James Bach has to.
You know him. All right, we know him.
He's really eager to see it. He also is writing. He wants us to be part of the werewolf scene in his next movie.
Are we gonna be a couple of werewolves, dude?
No, we're gonna go kill werewolves.
That works, dude. That's exciting. Dude.
And I was like, the way he says it to me is like, you're gonna be like in a field with fake guns and shit. And I was like, dude, people are gonna see us doing
I
this.
want
I
a
can't wait.
good old pair of cowboy boots and a good ass hat, dude. Nice long coat, dude.
I'm gonna ask him, like, can I be in charge of what I wear?
Fuck. Well, that's what's coming up.
I want to try to wear. I want to try to look like Lionheart, like from fucking the comic books, where he has the lion vest and shit on.
Van Helsing, dude. This is Van Helsing. I'll grow my hair out, dude. It's gotta
All right,
grow.
guys.
That's it. Until next time, you fucks. Woo!
Peace out.
I'm just hanging out. I'm just hanging out.